Hey guys, welcome back for today's college basketball pick video play for December 9th, 2018. If you're interested in getting all of our college basketball picks for today's action, including our daily free play, which is a pick against the spread in the highly anticipated Tennessee versus Gonzaga matchup, you can check those out over at stumpthespread.com, which is linked down in the video description. Heading into this one, I'm going to be talking about this Big 10, Big 12 matchup as the Purdue Boilermakers go out on the road and take on the Texas Longhorns. This should be a very competitive matchup, and going to give our lean on where we see the better value against the spread. The road team, Purdue, coming in as very slight favorites, giving about 1.5. And now both of these teams have faced fairly difficult schedules up to this point in the non-conference, and both have had varying levels of success. You have Purdue at 6-3 overall. Of course, their defeats coming against ranked Virginia Tech, ranked Florida State, as well as ranked Michigan, and none of those being true home games for Purdue, with two of them being in true road settings. Now, in their last outing, the Boilermakers were just able to get over the line at home against the Maryland Terrapins, picking up that victory by a final of 62-60. And this is really the best win that we've seen from Purdue this year. If you look at the other results that they've had, Ball State, that's a pretty good win for them. Also, they took down Davidson. These are mid-major victories that they were able to pick up against quality opposition, but when they've gone against Power 5 opponents, they've been competitive relatively, but coming up short, losing by 6 points against Virginia Tech, by 1 point at Florida State. But then they also had that poor showing at Michigan, losing that one by 19 points. Now, Purdue, they lost a lot of talent from last year's tournament team, but they bring back Carson Edwards, who's one of the best players in the Big Ten, and right now he's averaging about 24 points per game for Purdue, who's putting up about 78 points per game, and then defensively giving up about 67 points per contest. The home team here, the Texas Longhorns, probably not getting off to the start that they were hoping for, especially more recently. The Longhorns have gone on to lose their last 3 games in a row, 2 of those against mid-major opponents. But actually, Texas, they got off to a really nice 5-0 start with Power 5 wins against Arkansas as well as North Carolina. But ever since that North Carolina victory, the Longhorns have fallen against Michigan State and then back-to-back losses against Radford and Virginia Commonwealth. Now, those are 2 respectable mid-major opponents, but certainly wins that the Longhorns would have liked to pick up. And defensively, Texas was pretty solid in those showings, just offensively not quite consistent enough, as they lost to Radford by 3 points and VCU by just 1 point. And offensive consistency continues to be a problem for Texas. They're averaging about 72 points per game, giving up about 67 points per contest. So if you just take the numbers of these 2 teams, on average, Purdue has been about 5 points better per game than Texas, but then you have to factor in the home court advantage. And this feels like a very fair spread behind their great home court advantage at the Frank Irwin Center. Texas getting the 1.5. We expect this to be a very close, competitive result, but the fact that Purdue, even though they have been competitive against Power 5 opponents, they have generally been coming up a bit short, and again, going into a tough atmosphere. We feel like Texas can build off of that as they try to bounce back. They should be very hungry today, coming off those recent disappointing defeats. We see a close, lower-scoring game, but we still like Texas getting the 1.5 at home as the better value bet. If you agree, give the video a thumbs up. Disagree, give it a thumbs down. Again, be sure to check out our daily free play for today's pick in the Tennessee versus Gonzaga matchup over at stumpthespread.com, which is linked down in the video description. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we hope to see you guys back here for future videos.